Hey there everyone, and welcome back to Last Week in Real Estate. I'm John Smedley. This week we're going to take a look at the challenges being faced by FHA and VA borrowers in markets with fewer homes for sale than people who actually like Season 8 of Game of Thrones. And yes, I really still am that bitter. We're also going to examine what causes these challenges faced by the borrowers. Of course, we'll look at our featured listing and our what pick of the week. For those of you who enjoy the show, we'd love for you to hit the subscribe button down below so that you don't miss out on a show each week. To start, it may help to know what in the hell FHA or VA even means. First, we have the FHA loan, which is a federally insured loan by the Federal Housing Authority. And second, we have the VA loan, which is a loan insured by the federal government through the Veterans Administration. And while VA loans are reserved as a right for veterans and active military with credit scores over 620, in most cases, the FHA loan is available on a much larger scale and last year made up 9.6% of all home loans. The loan is available to any borrower with a credit score of 580 or higher pre-pandemic, but in many sectors of the market right now, they're still holding at credit scores of 600 or higher during the pandemic. Both of these loans also have max loan limits, which vary greatly depending on which market area you're actually buying a home in. So why do these loans create challenges for buyers in low inventory, highly competitive markets? Well, there's three problems, and they're all related to one another. So think of them as the Kim, Khloe, and Kourtney Kardashian of home loans. One is a diva, one causes drama, and the other one is being overly needy. So when I say that they're all related to one another, I mean it quite literally. There are appraisers, the divas, there's appraisals, which cause the drama, and property condition requirements, which is when we get really needy. The appraiser is responsible for creating the appraisal report in order to determine fair market value for the purposes of a home loan, which on the surface sounds like a really sweet gesture by banks to protect unsuspecting consumers from overpaying for homes. But I assure you, they're as interested in protecting you as the NFL is protecting players from scrambling their brains. And outside of the fact that appraisers in Texas and many other states have little to no real accountability, the report is hinging a person's ability to purchase a residence to live on one person's opinion. One single opinion. And tensions are rising even higher with record low inventory levels. The major issue with appraisals used for FHA and VA loans lies in one simple form required by most every lender when originating these loans. These are actually federally mandated forms. They're called the amendatory clause, or in some cases, they'll just actually call it the escape clause. And in my total non-legal and non-attorney perspective, it's kind of like a prenup on the contract when dealing with these loans. These forms are generally required to be signed by the buyer, seller, and realtors of a transaction for the purposes of the loan. And these forms prevent a buyer from being contractually obligated in any way, shape, or form when using VA or FHA to purchase a home if the appraisal comes back at a value less than the price on the contract. Conversely, conventional and cash buyers don't have such limitations or clauses, and they can be obligated to move forward with a purchase regardless of appraisals, depending on what other forms may accompany their offer and in which state you're dealing with. Even if the VA and FHA borrower have the funds to make up the difference in the appraisal and contract price, these clauses usually provide them with the privilege and option of the buyer to proceed without regard for the appraised value. In other words, they can do whatever they want, and there's nothing that a seller can do about it. They can decide to walk, and the seller in almost all of these cases will be right back to the drawing board with selling their home. The second aspect of this deals with property condition requirements, which oddly enough are usually reported to the lender by, you guessed it, our good friend, the appraiser. Now, in their defense, these requirements are only being enforced by them and not created by them. Instead, they're created by HUD and the VA. HUD is the U.S. Department for Housing and Urban Development and has been overseeing the FHA since 1965. And this thing right here, well, this is the big-ass deterrent that causes all the problems. This, believe it or not, is straight from HUD themselves, and it's the FHA Single Family Housing Policy Handbook section. And I want to remind you, just the section on property acceptability criteria. This right here. And while the VA may not publish a list this extensive, the requirements are pretty much the same. And in addition to that, it requires a clean wood destroying inspection report. Listen, I know this is all overwhelming, and some of you may think that there's no point or hope for FHA or VA borrowers in our current market. It is a big challenge, but not an impossibility, and it's vital to understand just how insane this experience can be before you jump into it head first. I'm sure every woman who ever dated R. Kelly wished they had the same opportunity. This week, our featured listing comes to us all the way from Shoreham, Vermont, and Whistlepig Rye Whiskey. Now, admittedly, I'm a huge fan of all things Whistlepig, and it's my favorite thing to come out of Vermont, narrowly beating out this incredible meme right here. And you know what? No judgment, Bernie. You do you, and stay warm, bro. From whiskey and freezing old people to our what the pick of the week, where these people have taken gardening to the extreme. Yes, this seller has decided to grow onions in the fertile grounds of their crapper. Who knew that toilets actually had fertilizing benefits? And while you take a moment to let the classiness of this show waft over you, I could not help but research what possible household uses one could have for onions. Interestingly, you can use onions for acne treatment, which is a little weird, and you do this by creating some strange paste that you put on your face. I mean, there's nothing like switching out awkward bumps on your face for the pleasant aroma of onions. This will definitely score major points with the ladies, with your newfound clear skin body funk combo. Listen, the only person that can walk around smelling like onion body odor and still be considered attractive is this guy. #facts. The other use for onions in the home is for correcting animal behavior, which will be really helpful when this piece of work right here starts pissing all over your house. Here's to hoping the seller of this home has found good use for their homegrown yellow onions. Moving to the North Texas real estate market, where March numbers have been released and the market is completely drunk. Home prices in March are up 14.1% year over year, while the homes that are listed are down 53%. That information makes it no surprise to find out that inventory levels are at a record low of 1.4 months. If you look at the 4 largest counties by population in North Texas, Dallas, Tarrant, Denton, and Collin counties, only one of these has an inventory level above 1 month. So congratulations, Dallas, you win. Listen, this is an ultra competitive market, and having the right person representing you has never been more important. We'd love to connect with you at any of the links below or on our social media platforms. Also, don't forget, subscribe down below so that you can get the latest episode of Last Week in Real Estate next week. I'm John Smedley, and if you're in the market right now trying to buy a home, happy bidding, and may the odds be ever in your favor. Take care.